Good afternoon, Keller ISD and teachers from anywhere watching our YouTube Live. We are back with the beginning of 2023 with our first Kickstart Your Learning of this year, and it's going to be a great one. We are here today with small changes that make a big impact with Nearpod. And we've got a special guest who's going to be quite a delight. Today, coming to you live is Shannon Bryant, our coordinator of virtual learning in Keller ISD, and she is all things Nearpod. Thank goodness. We love her support for Nearpod. We love her love of Nearpod, and she's got some great things to share with you today. My name's Christy Harold. I'm one of the EdTech facilitators in Keller ISD, and I've also got Missy Shea and Aaron Reister in the background with us today. All right, if you're joining us for the very first time for a Kickstart Your Learning, you might need to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. So we're going to go over that first. On your YouTube tab, you should see a chat window on the right-hand side. Shannon, if you don't mind, if you'll go backwards one slide, thanks. If you don't see that chat window on the right-hand side, you've never created a YouTube channel, and that's okay. We're going to do that really quick. Shannon, we're ready to go on now. It's 3 simple clicks to create that YouTube channel so that you can join us in the chat and engage with what you're learning today from Shannon. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look for that profile circle in the top right. Now you see my picture in the profile circle, your picture won't be there. It'll be like this little ghost circle. That's okay. You'll know when you're hovering on it. Click on it and make your first choice, which is create a channel. After you click create a channel, you're going to select the username rectangle and the select button at the bottom of that. And then you're going to click save and continue. That's all you have to do to create that YouTube channel. If you'll hit refresh, your little circle arrow in the top left, it will refresh your page and you will now see the chat in your YouTube window or your YouTube tab. So take a few seconds, do those 3 steps, and you'll be ready to go. Those of you who are experienced Kickstart Your Learning users or you already had a YouTube channel, go ahead and put your name in the chat and the campus that you're joining us from. We would love to respond to that. All right, Shannon, what next slide? And we'll almost be through the housekeeping. If you're participating in our Kickstart Your Learning today for EQ credit, we are so glad you're here. We love offering this as an hour option that's flexible. You can do it from your house, from the playground, from wherever you are. We do ask that you watch the entire live event, that you go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, and that you submit at least a comment or a question during the live event. And you'll have lots of comments because Shannon's amazing and funny, and you'll just want to jump in with her. And then at the end, we will provide you a link to get your credit. You'll just fill out a quick Google form telling us what you learned, and we'll get your credit issued to you tomorrow morning. If you'll try to fill out that form within 2 hours of the event, that kind of lets us know that you attended live, and that's who we offer EQ to. So with all that said, I'm going to let Shannon take it away. Shannon, thank you so much for bringing us small changes that make a big impact with Nearpod today.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. So I'm looking at the top 5 tools. I feel like these are the top 5 tools to give you the most bang for your buck with Nearpod. Now, don't worry if you're thinking, what is a Nearpod? Well, I've got you. Okay, let me make sure I got my right share. Yes, I do. So if you have not ever activated your Nearpod account, you can go to KCloud and then just in the search bar, type in Nearpod. And by clicking on that icon, it will link you to your premium account that is an upgrade that Keller ISD pays for. If you're from another district, sorry about you. This is what we do for our teachers because Keller is wonderful. Now, back to that question, what is a Nearpod? To me, it's kind of like a slideshow on steroids. But today, we're going to look at it not like a whole slideshow, but just one activity. So before I get in there with those 5 tools, because I'm going to show you how to facilitate a lesson live in person and how to design that lesson just over those 5 tools. And this is going to be very basic stuff, okay? If you did not know this, once you're in your Nearpod account, you can go all the way over here to where it says Nearpod Library, and you can search. And my favorite thing about this is that I can search by the standard. So I can choose my state, which is Texas. I did know that. And my favorite subject, which of course is math. Duh, sorry about you that if it's not your favorite. And let's pick first grade because, you know, first graders are kind of cool. Then you can look at all your standards and choose the standard that you want to look at. My other favorite thing about this is up here, it says all Nearpods. These are full Nearpod lessons. And these are just one slide activities. So if you just want to look for an activity to use, all of these are pre-created, aligned to that standard and grade level and content. So that's kind of a cool thing. All right, I'm going to go back to my Nearpod and I'm going to open up my lesson for today with those 5 tools on it. But I want to show you again just some very big basics. Once you are in your library, and this is a Nearpod that I created, I can launch it where it's live by clicking here, which is what we're going to do, or student paced. So that means the student controls moving the slides or the activity. And live participation means the teacher has control over that activity. But either way, you're going to see everything your students do in this activity in real time. So it gives you a lot of great data for formative assessments. Plus, it makes it more interactive and hands-on for kids. The other link I wanted to show you is at these 3 dots. You can find something that you love and share it with other teachers on your team. And over here where it says reports, that's where you get a report of everything students did while they were in the Nearpod. Pretty awesome. Okay, I'm going to launch this Nearpod as live participation. So the first thing we're going to do is let you see each of those 5 tools and what they look like face-to-face in a class is really what my lens is for, because we're all back face-to-face, and that doesn't mean Nearpod's gone away because it's still super fabulous. So to get your kids in there, you've got this link up here, join.nearpod.com. That's where they go. But FYI, their student K Cloud also has a tile that looks like yours, so they can go that way also. I like to just project this at the board, and then all the kids have to do is type in that code. Pretty cool. If you are a co-teach with somebody else, you can put that co-teacher in just by clicking that button so they have access like the teacher does, which is a new feature. Okay, closing that out. So I am in teacher view right now, and this is just an image, but I have a lot of different buttons at the bottom. I'm really only going to focus on a couple of things. Here is where I can get that code again. So if a student came in late, you can grab it up there. Down here, where you see all the little bobbleheads, that tells me how many participants I have in there. I have 1, it's me. And then over here, the eyeball means I can hide students' names. I like to start off by telling kids, if I project this on the screen, everybody can see what you do. I'm going to hide the names, but I'll have a report to send home to let your parents know how well you did in class today too. That usually gets them to participate. And then over here, this last little button with a kiddo on it, this is how you can turn that lesson into a student-paced lesson so the kids could take it from there. All right, that's enough talk about this slide. Let's get to it. So here, my first activity was a draw it. So out of all my top 5 favorites, I love this one the most. This is why I went and looked for Nearpod for Keller, because during the shutdown of 2020, I know we don't like to think about it, but it really did happen. We lost the ability to, in real time, formatively assess, and this lets you do it. All the tools at the bottom, students have access to write on the screen in the color they like, to highlight, to type text. Oops, I guess I have to really get in there. Ooh, look at all my typing. I'm so good. And they can erase and add images too. So it's really pretty cool. Over here, I can look at it in student view. That's what I have clicked on now. Or I can switch it over to teacher view. The difference is I'll be able to see everybody's work on this screen. So for each person that's in here with me, thank you, Christy Lash, for playing along. I love it. I'll be able to see their screens in real time. So you can have a really great conversation sharing students' work with each other. And don't forget, if you're wanting to point out your favorite mistakes, you can click that eyeball and the names will be taken away. I just love that feature. So I can switch back and forth between student and teacher. And I want to do that real quick to show you this. The little book that's open with the megaphone on it is the immersive reader. Now you would have to go into your settings to turn that on. But if you forget any of this, you're just going to email shannon.bryant@kellerisd.net, and I am going to help you out because I heart all things Nearpod so much. So when I click on this as a kiddo, it's going to read anything on my screen. Those were the directions at the top. And then I can have it read to me. And if I click on this little book, under translate, they now have 60 different languages that the kiddo can have it read in. And you've got a picture dictionary. There's other things in there, but like I said, I'm going to keep it real basic and just hit the highlights. What that was reading is if I click on the blue arrow down, there's where the instructions are. So it's really great for helping kids that need accommodations as well. Okay, so that's the Draw It tool. And I'm going to arrow over to the next tool. This is also a big favorite one of mine. Oopsie poopsie, I forgot to show you something. I didn't connect it over here, but you can also put all different kinds of resources, and I'm going to show those to you throughout this slide. Draw has that option. I just didn't put one in it. So here the resource was an image. My open question is write one question about the lesson. Your question should start with how, why, or what if. Well, what if I didn't want to give them the starters? I wanted them to choose from this list. So I set an image that's a resource that I want them to go in and choose maybe a level 1, 2, or 3 question using those words. You can also add video here, you can add audio here, and you can make it where the students can reply with audio as well, especially on the question one. And look, still the immersive reader wherever there's typed in text. Let's look at what the teacher sees because it is different in this one. The teacher will see each student's response as they answer the question, and they'll just appear right here. And they can click on those answers and share them with the group. Also, if I've turned on the ability for them to respond using their voice, a audio recording will be over here, and I can play that for the class. It's a pretty cool one. Okay, so we looked at draw, we looked at open questions, but there is more fabulousness awaiting us right around the bend. This is very similar to Padlet. So if you've ever used Padlet, this is called collaboration boards. It works just like Padlet does, but the cool thing about Nearpod is you can integrate all of those things into one lesson. So students are really learning how to just use one tool that helps them focus on the content, and you gotta love that. So here, I put the question as, what do you already know and need to know about Nearpod? Then my resource, I added a Nearpod video so they could watch that video and then come down here and post their thoughts. And you, the teacher, can post also. So I know it's great. And because I have no selected, it'll go right under no. But if I selected need to know, it would go under need to know. I also created it so that I can add images, video, audio, or GIFs. And you can turn those on and off. You can also turn on the ability to approve them before they show up or not. But I forgot about this. It's brand new. So you can also change and edit the different parameters you've set on them by turning those on and off live in the lesson, which is cool. I also like to be able to sort them. I can sort them by how they came in. That's what it'll default to. But if I have them go back and read each other's post, I could sort the most likes to come to the top. Or if I'm checking to see who submitted what, I can sort them in alphabetical order. That's amazing. Okay, now I am going to scooch it on over to the next one. This is number 4, drag and drop. It was new a couple of years ago, and I just love a great card sort. I think that it's a great way for kids to discover about things. And so I found this one that was already created. And what it is having, we're at teacher view. So I've got the directions and I've got the boards here, but at student view, they see the directions. They added this little resource that kids can click on to make larger and X out to make smaller. They can click on the instructions to pop up. And then they have this mat. I call it a learning mat. I used to teach elementary thousands of years ago because I'm very elderly. And then they can click and drag the images to where they think they go. Pretty cool. And I just want you to think, this board could be anything. Let your mind go wild. And look at this, holy Nearpod Batman. They have all of these things at the bottom that they can add. And that is so cool. Let us, also, this has images. That's what it came with. I went ahead and picked one from the library that was already made. But you can also do this with words. So pretty awesome. Any questions yet? You can always put them in there, and I love it. The last tool I'm going to show you is the video tool. This video tool works just like Edpuzzle. So I want you to hear me say you can replace Padlet and you can replace Edpuzzle just by using Nearpod. What is great about this for students is that then they're really focused on learning one tool, and you as a teacher is only having to use and learn one tool as well. Anyway, back to this. So if I click on this button, Teacher Plays, then it will play at the front of the room. If I click on Student Play, then students can play. Now, in a face-to-face classroom, I would use Teacher Plays in the front of the room. Let me show you what this looks like. So I'm going to play it. Now, I'm not going to play her whole thing. I'm going to, because I'm the teacher, I can advance it to the question. And when I stop there, that little circle, the blue circle, is going to pop up the question that I want to ask my students. There it goes. So I did this in I think it was a 5th grade math class a couple of years ago. And the students were able to see each other's responses up here. And I just hid their names so that they wouldn't know who asked what question. But it was a great way to facilitate a conversation, and every voice was heard. So all students responded to the question. I could see that they were participating. And on the student end, they can't click and drag and fast forward past those. Plus, their responses will show up in the reports. Isn't that awesome? Let's go over here to students so you can see the difference. They just see the question and they're able to type in the answer. This is an open-ended question, but you could also do that with multiple choice. Okay, don't worry. I know I gave you a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you how to make all of these things. Okay, never fear, teacher is here. And if you need more, this last slide is going to take you to all kinds of training that I have going throughout the, even in the summer, where I'm going to do a Nearpod Ninja Academy. It's going to be awesome. You want to come to it. It's going to be fun. All right. we are going back to the thing. Here it is. Make sure you see what I see. Do you see what I see? You didn't know you were going to get serenaded, but it happens. Okay. So here is me creating JK. I'm in Christy's slideshow, so I'm going to open up my Nearpod. And I just simply made mine in Google Slides. You can create in PowerPoint if that's what makes you happy. And you can also create in the Nearpod platform. And everything works very similar. But remember, you get stuck. You have questions, you email shannon.bryant@kellerisd.net. Okay, that's what you're going to do, and I can help you out. So here are the 5 things that we looked at, and then I have them over here. Each one is a different slide. And then I'm going to turn on my Nearpod tools by going to Extension and Nearpod and Open Nearpod. Oh, but Shannon, I don't have those tools. It's okay. I got you. Extension and add-on and get add-ons. And then you will search, find Nearpod and click on it. And then it should populate so that when you click on extensions, you see it right there. When you open the Nearpod tools, I'm kind of hoping I get the same error that sometimes happens. You might have to log in. Oh, good, it did it. That's what I wanted it to do. You might have to log in, X out, and then a log in again. You know, that's what we do with technology. If it doesn't work, we keep trying, right? So, now I'm going to click on Edit the Lesson, because if one thing doesn't work, let's try the other one. Now, I love these. You see all these tools. Oh, they're just a bajillion of them. But we're going to focus on just the top 5 that will give you the most bang for your buck. And if you need a little video on how to use these, they've got it right up here at the top. Isn't that so clever? Thank you, Nearpod. Okay, so the first thing I made was the Draw It tool. So I have a very special background on there, and let me show you how I got it. I have clicked on my slide, and I'm going to click on Edit this slide. And I'm going to show you a little bit more withdrawal than I do the other tools. I'm looking at my time. I'm still good, but it is dwindling down, so I better delay it up. Okay. So this is so cool. So remember that library that I show you? You can search that library right in here while you're creating. And that's where I got my exit ticket. I just type in what I'm looking for. And I can also filter by content and grade here. I didn't even know that was here. Look at that's amazing. And then once I find what I like, I click on it and it'll be replaced by what I already have in there, which in itself, that is pretty awesome. Then I type my things up here, whatever my directions are, and this is where I can go to add any of these resources. So I can add a web link, video, audio, a PDF viewer. So if you have something you want them to read before they do the activity, audio recorder or image, it's so cool. And then I can pop that up to look at it. And I want to show you the background. So I can change the size of the background here, but I can also do away with that background and upload a background from my computer or the internet. Look at this. So maybe you have some favorite Venn diagrams that you like to use, and you can search them. Oh, no, I'm not a robot. I promise you. I make too many mistakes to be a robot. So when I click on that, that's what my background will become. I've put in coordinate plane before, number line, 10 frame, grid, just anything that you love to use. So I'm going to cancel this so that I don't save those changes, but you get a good idea of how Draw It works. And if you don't already have a slide created, because you won't, because I made this presentation, you just make sure you have a little line wherever you want your slide and click on Draw It, and it'll create a tool for you. Okay, now that's a lot on Draw It, so I'm going to be a little quicker with the rest of these, but you can see this is how you start from scratch with it. The next one is open questions, and it is probably the easiest one to use. For me, it replaces things like Kahoot, but they also have Time to Climb, which is a gaming app. So I just give an open question, and then I have all the different resources that I can put there, video, audio, that we just had in the Draw It tool. I can also add a timer so that the board will go away at a specific time. And this is where I can enable students to provide an audio recording of their answer. Math teachers, look at that. All the math type tools that you could ever want to put all your little equations in there, and you just knock yourself out. It is wonderful. So that tool is pretty easy. Again, if I was creating it from scratch, I would just click on open question and it would populate wherever my line is. Okay, so Collaborate board, this is the one that works just like Padlet. The new feature that they have is you can create grids or columns on it, similar to Padlet, but they also have added some new board themes, so you can choose from that. You can put resources in here. Mine was a video, and you can select those options for students. The approved student post is one that you'll probably use at the beginning a lot, just until they learn that you can get the report and share it. You can also get different media types, or you can turn all that off so that all they're able to do is type text. Now, I don't think I pointed this out to you, but when we were in the facilitating the lesson, there was a share button, and teachers have used that to send those responses out to other kids. So that's kind of cool. In the drag and drop, it works very similarly to the draw tool. You can share resources just like you could with the other ones. You can search and find pre-made activities. You have a place for instructions that will also include the equation editor. And you can choose not to just add images, but also to add text. So creating is just done right here in this plane. But the new thing is all of these features. And what I love, let's look at these backgrounds. They give you some other backgrounds that come with it. Like you can use a T-chart or an equation mat, equal sign, 3-column. The reason these are kind of nice is you could have students do a random sort and then title each of those columns with how they decided to sort it. So it's not dictated by you, it's just a free sort. That's something I used to do with solid figures all the time. And some kids would sort by the bases and some would sort by the sides. Okay, we're down to the last two, really one, JK, because this is number 5, the video. So easy to do the video. I'm going to edit this slide so I can open it up. Guys, you can search YouTube right from this video editor. So it's not going to show you that because I already have a video in there. Just kidding. Let's put a yellow line there, click on video. That's a good reminder of how you access the tools. I only have 2 more minutes. I gotta go fast. So you can search YouTube, you can add your own videos. They have a video library that's already created, or you can upload videos from your computer. So when I go into search videos, I can type in anything I want to. And of course, that's not going to come up, but the YouTube video will come there. You can preview it before you choose which one you want to add. Lastly,
Shannon, I hate to interrupt you, but you can take your time. Don't go so fast.
Oh, thank you.
You have a few more minutes. You're fine. Take a deep breath.
Oh, thank you, because I got worried. I was looking at that thinking, because I want you to have all the things. You're too sweet to show up here with me. Okay, then I'm going to really show you this video because I just really, really, really like it. I love the fact that you can search within YouTube. Let's see. Oh, I could put music. I was just listening to REM. I'm sure y'all would love that. Let's see what they have. Oh, very good. Everybody does hurt sometimes, REM. So when I click on that, I can preview it right here and play it. But I won't do that for you right now. But you can see you can preview it right there in the where you're in this playing. And then when I save it, it's going to buffer and load that whole video there. Now, if I want to add the activities, I listen to the video to decide where I want those different questions to populate. Or I can click and drag it to wherever I want them to populate. Then to add an activity, you just click on Add Activity. You can make an open question or a multiple choice. Put your question in there. Why is this music so good? And then you can have different answer options. REM is cool, said all the old people like me. And I can keep adding questions and responses below, and I can click which one is correct. When I save it, ooh, in A, there we go. Oh, complete the required fields. And when I save it, my question will be right there. And if I made a mistake, which I'm sure you never do that, but I do on a daily basis, you can click on edit and change the question. It is so awesome. Now, I didn't point this out, but every single tool Nearpod has, you can just send them a suggestion on how to make it better, and that's how we got drag and drop. Lastly, this is a bonus because you're so special to me. I put my flyer in here and I use the web tool to do that. So I'm going to edit this slide just so I can open it up and show you around. If you need help with Nearpod, just email me. I'll be happy to come to your PLCs, your conference time before after school, your staff meetings. We will have a delightful time. So I can test my link before I put it in. Mine's just in a plain old Google Doc. So think about all the things you've got in Google right now. Oh, holy Nearpod. They could go right in your Nearpod. Okay, so here you've got the instructions on how to access your upgrade. This is a little video by me, just telling you about cool things with Nearpod. This summer, I'm offering a 3-day Nearpod Ninja Academy. There will be no swords, but if you want to bring your own, you can. But we'll be checking that at the door, I'm sure, unless it's, plasticky. So the first day, we're going to have 3 hours on just how to make them. On how to teach with Nearpod. And then the next day, 3 hours on how to design with Nearpod. And then for our advanced Nearpod Super Ninjas, and you'll probably be advanced if you go to day 1 and day 2 by the time we get to 3, you can learn all the advanced topics about Nearpod. If you want to register for those, the links are connected right there. You can click on it, take you right to KIC to register. I also have some asynchronous training, which is a Nearpod choice board. There are 20 different topics you can learn about. Each little video and reflection takes less than an hour, and I give you an hour of credit. I update that credit every Friday. And if you want more, click on this website. It will take you there. And Christy, now I'm done.
Sorry, new mouse. It's flying all over the screen. I can't find it anywhere. Shannon, Holy Nearpod is right. Maybe that's what we should have called this, Holy Nearpod. I loved everything you said, and I loved how you made it simple. And I am going to say that a year ago, I figured out, don't ask me why, you didn't have to have big, long slideshow with all these Nearpod activities. You could do one activity, and that could be the main part of your lesson, or your attention grabber, or your exit ticket, or your formative assessment. It doesn't have to be the big kind of backpack that we used to think of it as when we first started with Nearpod. So that's my favorite tip you brought. I love all the different engagement strategies. I hope, teachers, that you took something away. And again, Shannon is your Nearpod girl. Feel free to email her if you have questions. We are going to give you the link to her slides, and I'm going to put that in the chat right now. So it's just kind of a Google Doc presentation link. I think it'll, oh yeah, Misty, you did it too, maybe. Thank you. But that link will be to her slides where you can look back at the resources she shared with us today. I love what Nearpod's done with Collaborate boards, the grids, the columns, all the extras are amazing. And is the switch to self-paced kind of new, or has that been there? Okay. To me, as a teacher in the classroom, I would love starting with a Nearpod and then switching to self-paced for formative assessment or group activities. That would be key for me when I'm going to use Nearpod in the classroom. So love all of that. Thank you, Shannon. You guys show Shannon some love in the chat. She volunteers to come and do these with us, for us. We so appreciate everything she does for Keller ISD in all of her roles, but also her Nearpod role as well.
They're being too kind. They are amazing over there. I come to them because they are fun and amazing.
I don't know. If you've never seen Shannon's Friday cheers, reach out to her on a Friday. Make her email you her cheer of the Friday. She's great. Okay, so we have a couple of closing up things. We have a few more minutes, and so we'll close out together, and I'll get you guys the link to the form for your EQ credit. If you're not aware, our team, Educational Technology, keeps resources up for the district. Our resources can be found on www.kellerisd.net/kick, where we have our resources sorted by topic, and you can click on those and get how-tos or links to other resources that we feel are great. If you can't remember that website, no worries. We're on KCloud. Just search EdTech KISD and you will find us. And there you will find links to our blog. We write a weekly blog with digital tips, tricks, and tools for you as teachers. We also push out content on social media, and we call this micro learning. So little things that might help you be more productive as a teacher in the classroom, or that can help assist you in any type of how you deliver instruction to students digitally. We also keep a YouTube channel with helpful videos. So if you need those, you can look there. And then for the past 2 years, of course, we kept a remote instruction parent support, and that link still works as well for parents if you need to get parents some help with digital learning. Next slide, Shannon. We are coming to you in February with a Canvas episode of Kickstart Your Learning, and it's titled Canvas Does. So mark your calendars now for February 8th at 4:30, same bat time, same bat place, since Shannon brought about the Batman references. And we'll be here at the same website, www.kellerisd.net/kick. And again, it will be 1 EQ if you attend that event.
Hey, Christy, can I chime in for a second?
Absolutely.
We're going to spend some time showing maybe what you're used to in Google Classroom and comparing it to something that Canvas does. So if you have any friends that are still on the Google Classroom bandwagon, and that's okay, we're okay with that, and you think that they might want to kind of explore Canvas before we push it out to high schools next year, definitely invite them to come on, even if they don't need EQ time, or they can always come back on our YouTube channel and watch it afterwards. I just think it'd be really beneficial to see some of the really cool things that Canvas does to kind of get everyone excited about next year. Thanks, Christy.
Absolutely. Sorry, crazy mouse. I just got this mouse today. I've got to slow down the speed somehow. Okay, so we're going to get you the link in the chat right now for your EQ credit. If you are watching the screen, you see it in front of you. It's bit.ly/kickstart2223. On Bitly's, the capital letters are pertinent, very important. So you're going to want to capitalize KIC and S when you put that link into a tab. So we'll leave that up there. If you need to take a picture, take a picture. Hopefully someone is throwing that in the chat for you to capture and grab. If you'll fill that out within the next 2 hours, we would so appreciate it. That's who we will give EQ credit to. So we want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating with us in the chat. And again, we'll see you next month, February 8th.